I believe you should be able to hear me. Ah, okay, that was a rush to kind of get to the stream on time. I was 2 minutes late. What a shame. But I am here for another stream, another weekly stream, which, you know, I was contemplating whether I do this today or... Well, that was the problem. I don't really want to do this today because I have a lot of things I have to do today, but I can't do it tomorrow. I guess I could probably do it on Sunday, but even then, who knows? But I'm here. Let's go through Twitter. It is probably going to be short because I still have stuff I have to do today. Let's see. What have we got? End of Evangelion? I'm pretty sure... No, I wouldn't have talked about that. Did I even tweet out a thing? Oh no, it's here. I'm in this discussion. Go watch it. That is true. We had an End of Eva discussion. Now, did I say anything interesting in there? I don't know. It was fun. I liked it. Good discussion. It was a fun chat. Actually, for a section, it was not fun. Absolutely, actually, now that I'm thinking back. Because my Discord was having issues with the automatic gain adjustment. And oh my god. And I'm trying to like record and I can't like troubleshoot during it because like I'm obviously recording, so I can't mess up my audio. Oh my god. But I figured it out mid-recording. If you can believe it, I'm really, really good at technology and I solved it. And here we are. That is true. It is the third thing that I've watched all year, which is kind of crazy. More Ruby fan art. It's very rare. You know, you don't see Ruby fan art that often, but you know, when you do, it's great. This is very funny. Takeru, and I don't know what these two creatures are, but maybe they're also from JJK, or maybe they're from some other universe, but very cute. We love it. And then my schedule. So I have a new schedule for this month. I'm sure if you're at this stream, you probably have already seen this video, but, you know, it's pretty much the same. Monday, Wednesday, miscellaneous, Chainsaw Man every, you know, week or two on Wednesdays. Thursday, we have Darwin as usual. Friday, we have today, which is the stream and JJK video as usual. Sunday, we have the One Piece review, and we have two new things. We have a weekly discussion series with Kyle. We're going to do one episode of Pluribus every day. Or not every day, every week, sorry. And then on Saturday, I'm going to be reacting to Andor Season 2. So look forward to that, I guess, if you're a big Star Wars fan. And if you're not a Star Wars fan, go watch Andor, because Andor's really good. It's just a good show in general. But let's see. I can't believe you actually made my video request. That is true. Well, you know what happened, guys? So, oh, here's my video. Oh my god. This is a good sign if it's showing up as a recommended thing on this random browser that I'm on. So we love that. One comment. Wow, Ordinary Ari says trans rights. EliteAri could never. Yeah, okay. Yeah, anyway, I watched this episode. So minus spoilers for JJK. I got to the end of it, I'm like, what on earth do I make a video about? Like, this was like my god, the chapters for this, like, when I was reading the chapters, I was like, this is perfectly fine. I don't think I had any, like, I really didn't say much about it. I didn't have any thoughts on it. And I think it's very similarly for the anime episode. I had a few things. I had like 3 potential theses, and one of them was, like, Kirara's gender, and that's what I ended up doing it on. But the other 2 things were, like, it's a episode that struggles because the manga has so much like exposition, and it's like, how do you even direct that to make it interesting, which they managed to, and that would be like the point of the video, because I think 48%, like I spent too much on this video, but 48% of the runtime of the fight portion of the episode was spent just on explaining or trying to understand Kirara's power, which might be a lot, might not be, I don't know, it feels like a lot, definitely when you're watching it. But that was my first thing. My other thesis was going to be about like Yuji being a cog and all that, but I thought this is so boring. Anyway, but I made this. I put way too much time into researching stuff, and this is definitely an Ordinary Ari video. This would not go on EliteAri, because I'm not sure how, you know, I don't think I did the most thorough job researching. This is like, you know, a few hours of researching. But, oh god, I had to hunt down, like, Japanese versions of the, of the manga, which, like, no one has. It was a struggle, okay? What else did I have to do? I had to, like, these were in terrible resolution. I had to, like, upscale them using AI, but I had to verify that the text was the exact same, because otherwise it's, like, an inaccurate translation. Oh my god. And then I had to, like, fix up things. Oh, it was a hassle. What else was there that was, like, terrible in this? I don't know. I don't know why I thought I should do this, but here we are. Hopefully, this better get at least 1,000 views, or I'm not going to be happy, okay? But it is what it is. I feel like it probably will get 1,000 views, right? Like, JJK is very popular. It's about a topic some people are talking about, at least. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, it's Crazy on God. True. But I'll be back in 3 minutes when I finish the video. Lovely. It's actually, I think, 5 minutes or something. Doing it tomorrow would be some pussy shit, says Kyle. That's a tune-in exams discussion. Oh, was it? Wait, what? Was it actually? That's very funny. I didn't even think about that. No way, right? Why did I think it was the end of Ava? It is. That's very funny. Okay. Does this guy even read chat? I do, yeah. I'm catching up. And Heath is here dabbing. Hello, Heath. We just read out your comment. Real Steel. I have no idea what this is. I've never heard of it. What is this? Oh, I was going to say, why did he talk about Ava? But there's like an anniversary thing or something, right? Why? I'll probably never make a Neon Genesis Evangelion video. I wonder why. Oh my god.
I watched Puello Magi Madoka Magica this week. Have you seen that? Yes, I have Juan_dinner. I watched Madoka Magica when it came out, and Madoka Magica is a really interesting one for a lot of different reasons. So I remember like watching that come out and like not knowing what it was at all, not knowing the twist, and like watching the first episode and being like, oh cool, it's like a magical girl show. And then
wait, what? Can you imagine watching Madoka and then watching that first episode and be like, oh yeah, it's just like a magical girl show, bro? Okay, true. Now, maybe this is my foolishness because I haven't seen that many magical girl shows, but when I saw it, I was like, man, this is a really creepy show. My god. All right. This is yet another week. I don't have any plan. Do I have anything to talk about? I guess I have this because it's literally open on my other browser, which there's not much to talk about beyond. I've seen a lot of like Elon Musk podcasts. Okay, for context, I don't like Elon Musk. Okay, I think he's probably the primary source of like misinformation online or like the biggest like spreader of it, which is like really bad. But I've listened to a lot of podcasts. A lot of them tend to be the same and they tend to be kind of boring, and it'll be like, and also it has like a thing where Elon is really bad at telling jokes, and he like tells jokes a lot in podcasts and the guests never like stop him and he like keeps going or whatever. And I'm like, oh my god, please, the joke's not good. You don't have to make it like a 3-minute joke. So thank god that didn't happen here. But also they tend to be about like a lot of pretty boring topics, which is like the stuff I've heard him talk about a million times before. Like, are we in a simulation? What is the meaning of life? Like, why do you work on SpaceX? Is it why do you want to go to Mars? Like, when are we going to go to Mars? It's like all the boring questions. But this one was actually a very interesting thing. I don't think, wait, have I finished it? Oh, I basically finished it. I have like 5 minutes left, but this was legitimately interesting. And he had like interesting things to say. And he sounded like smart and stuff. I'm like, this is crazy. Just based on all this stuff I've heard him say in the past like few, I don't know, like a year or two. This is a pretty crazy thing. With the exception of the section on Doge, where I'm like, man, okay, whenever he talks about politics, he just is, it's not very good. But other than that, this was super interesting. He's talking about like sending satellites to space for like AI and like just to talk about like the grok in general and there's a bunch of interesting stuff about robotics in China and the place and like what leads to like what's required to like have an effective business. And he's talking about like how he has like 2 meetings a week with like the I think it's like the people under him who like, it was an interesting structure in terms of like meetings and stuff, which is very different to the way I have meetings. And I was like, oh, it's interesting. Like I'd never see my CEO in like meetings like that. I don't know. It was interesting podcast, but yeah. So we love Elon Musk now, but that's definitely not true. We don't love Elon Musk, but yeah. Okay. Who knew EliteAri loved trans girls? I love all women. Oh my god, I clicked the thing. All right, did Chibi make a video on this subject yet? As of when I started writing my script, Chibi Reviews had not made a video about Kurara, so I don't know. I don't think so. Have you watched literally any magical girl shows other than Madoka? Well, how do you define magical girl, right? Like, I've seen Zenshu, which has like a magical girl transformation. We have seen Utena, which is like similarly, but have I seen any conventional like magical girl show? Absolutely not. Do you have one you recommend? I want to watch Magical Doremi or something, and that's purely because I was at a Comic-Con thing, like an anime thing, and Shabes like showed footage from it. It looked cool, like the directing was cool, but I guess he probably chose an interesting directing shot for his video that he talked about. But yeah, I need a less biased take. Oh, true. Whoever they are, they look like a gecko. What? I don't even know what you're talking about. Did you enjoy the tune-in exams discussion too? Yes, I did. The Naruto discussions are very good for me because I just get to talk about a new experience and it is very fun. And it's like a whole world I'm entering into where a lot of people know a lot more than I do, so we love that. That's what everyone says about Madoka episode 1. Yeah, it's a bit silly. It's a silly talking point, I feel. Why aren't you watching the Winter Olympics? I had no idea the Winter Olympics were happening right now. Wasn't the Australian opening happening right now or something? Do they do both things at once? And why do I have an alarm going off? Oh my god. The skating, dancing is on. That's good to hear. EliteAri, you've got no viewers anymore. That's now that I'm on YouTube. That is true. Kyle streamed on YouTube, and thank God for that. It was I'm very glad that he did that. Wait, what is this? The anime that dethroned itself. That could be interesting. True. If we go to the live tab, look, Kyle streamed 2 times yesterday because he couldn't figure out how to scroll down and press low latency. And for some reason, he went ultra latency, which he absolutely should not do because the stream was buffering and I had to stay back like 5 seconds before the beginning, well, before the current because of it. But yes. What do you know about Legend of the Galactic Heroes? I know it's an anime that is old and people like it, and that I've seen the first episode of the remake because I thought it was the original. I was like, oh man, people really like this one. Let me watch it. And then I watched, like, it was like a 40-minute episode. It was like a double length or something like that. And I was like, man, that was really good, but I don't know why people like it so much. And then I looked it up, and apparently I just watched the wrong version. So, I mean, I know the basics, right? They're in space. Cardcaptor Sakura is a 10. That's a name I've heard of. Oh, wait. I've heard of Creamy Mummy from the video essay that we talked about, right? That's a Magical Girl anime or something. What else did she talk about? Pre-cure or Pretty Cure or something, right? I remember that as well. Anyway, Cardcaptor Sakura. I don't like the art style at all, but you know what? Maybe. A Precure, that's it. Heath even said it. But I saw a Precure clip yesterday. It looks sick. True. Kyle says, I'll watch it. A Gecko. Gecko? What are you talking? I don't know what you're talking about. A Gecko? That's what I said in DMs. And you said I was right. A Gecko. I don't know. Oh, Kyle's referring to... Okay. Kyle's referring to this image. After season... How many views? 9? Okay, good. Because, for context, guys, this is a volume... Oh, not a volume. What do they call it? Whatever I said in this is like the correct terminology. What did I call it? They also refer to some bonus art at the end of chapter 1. Bonus art, that's what it's called technically, I think. There's like a Japanese term for it as well. I think. But this is at the end of one of the JJK chapters, and this is the character that everyone's talking about. This is like a key piece of evidence why they're trans, and I was like, looking at it, I'm like, oh, I could imagine seeing this as like either a guy or a girl. So I sent it to Kyle, and I was like, Kyle, what would you... I didn't want to say like, what's this person's gender, because I had to give it away. I was like, what's the name of this character? Like, what name would you give this character? And immediately he said like Yuji, and I was like, okay, Yuji, that's like a male. And then he like used the male pronoun. The next one, I'm like, okay, so he thinks it's a man. Okay, we like this. This kind of proves the point here. And then he said it was a gecko or something. So yeah, we love that. Anyway, I sent some great videos. That's good to hear. What's Lucky official trailer? Is that our next show? I don't know. But Apple TV has good shows apparently. But I'm yet to watch one. Well, I guess I've seen Pluribus, but we can't comment on what we think about that yet. We need to wait for our discussion to come out. Wait, what's live notification? Well, she's wearing a boy's uniform. Utana? Oh, sorry. You mean in that... You know what? It didn't even cross my mind. See, this is why it's on Ordinary Ari, okay? And not on Elite Ari. Because that's the type of stuff where I'd want to take a few days and think about this and probably read more into it. But that would make a lot of sense. This is true. I'm pretty sure. But what is Nober JJ? What does she wear? Oh, actually, I don't know. Okay, I take it back. That could be the exact same thing, right? Like in a different style or something? I don't know. Maybe not. Okay, I retract that. Maybe that isn't a boy's uniform. I have no idea. Anyway. Oda in trouble. What are you guys reading? I guess I haven't even seen any of this. Some Iron Man thing? No, it's Mandalorian? What is this? I don't know. Oh, Mandalorian. Brendan Wayne's frustration on not getting recognition for mental learn. Okay. What is it? I'm curious.
Does it ever upset you that, like, because I have
Oh, this is Katie, right? Oh yeah, Katie Sarkoff or something.
literally gotten...
Bo-Katan.
Does it ever upset you that, like, because I have literally gotten, not in arguments, I've learned you don't argue with people online.
No, you don't.
No, you don't. But there are people that get in arguments with each other.
Oh, yeah.
About that you're not really in the suit that much.
Yeah.
Is that frustrating for you at all?
He's not in the suit that much. Well, I wonder who is this guy? I have no idea who this is. Is this the guy who is the physical, like, actor? Wait, what is this? Wait. Oh, body double, okay.
So I think initially it probably was a little bit more. I know for my family, it pissed them off. Like their thing was, how do you do that to another artist? Like, how do you allow that to happen to another artist? Like David Prowse, James Earl Jones, those kind of things. Like, I think I needed, I don't know if that's true. Maybe that's the excuse I made, but I just needed to not to be important to me. When it bothers me is when I'm trying to get a job and they're like, you're a stud guy. I'm like, oh, fuck you.
Yeah.
Okay. You know, like those are the things. But like, then there's moments like you meet, I don't know, like Sigourney Weaver, and she walks up to you and she goes, your work is seamless. It's absolutely beautiful. And I'm like, hi, I'm Brendan.
Interesting. You know, I don't know about physical acting stuff. Like, I don't know how, like, I don't think I've ever seen bad physical acting. I've definitely seen bad, like, overall acting. I don't know if I've ever seen bad, like, oh, that was a bad physical actor. So I don't know if I can tell what a good physical performance is. It also reminds me of the fact that, like, Chewbacca got replaced, like, by, obviously it was like a new actor for The Force Awakens onwards, and I can't tell, like, it's the same to me, and everyone's just like, I guess everyone else thinks the same. I don't know. It is what it is. Anyway. I think it's called a Gakuen. Is it a uniform thing? Interesting. It's the first short. Now it's gone. Oda in trouble. It's for some Epstein thing. Ichiro Oda is in the Epstein file. You know what? We're not going to click this because then we're going to get a bunch of recommended Epstein stuff, and I don't want to sort through that on stream. Okay. I Hate Everything has watched Chainsaw Man season 1. Who is I Hate Everything? This? No, I don't know. Chainsaw Man's very popular, believe it or not. Gigix thought on Fate's Strange Fake so far? No. I don't know where it is, but no. Oda in trouble, true. Okay. Chainsaw Man spoilers, guys. The anime that dethroned itself. Let me predict. Wow, Ree's movie, it was so successful.
After 3 years since we left off the anime adaptation of that incredible season 1, Chainsaw Man has once again returned, only this time, it's being accompanied with a new director, a new art style, and a new swag that's replacing everything that made Chainsaw Man season 1 into the phenomena that it was. And as someone who's already seen this movie twice at this point, I'll have to say it absolutely deserves every bit of hype, love, and praise that it has received from all over the world, to the point it's become one of the highest ranked animes of all time, even with these new changes.
Let's see the true ranking. Okay, we gotta predict it. So if it's over 7.9, then I'll consider it like a really good movie, okay? It's gonna be 8 and above. 8.4 is crazy. Damn. That's like a really highly rated movie. Okay. Whoa.
But why did things have to change in the first place?
Manga. Alright. I don't care that much. Okay. Who wins? Jinbei or Kisame? Who the hell are these people? I'm not going to Google it in case these are Naruto things, okay? How many DVDs do you think the Reese movie sold? 4,000 at least. Alright. We should do some JJK stuff.
From the moment Maki Zenin is introduced, she's branded as the Zenin clan failure, a label that makes her eventual transformation into their extinction event all the more ironic. And the most impressive part? The story told us this was coming from the very beginning. Maki is initially portrayed as a character driven by deep grudges, yet lacking the power to act on them.
This is some impressive production for a 938 sub channel. Oh, and I guess they've been making videos for a long time, but they don't make many. Okay.
But in Season 3, she completes her transformation into a full-fledged monster. Shocking, brutal, and unforgettable. But if you were paying close enough attention, the foreshadowing had already been laid, carefully building the foundation
What on earth? Oh, wait, no, that's from Season 1 or 2 or something.
for one of the most destructive forces in JJK. One of the hardest things to write in a battle series is a satisfying power. When done well, it feels inevitable, and when done poorly, it can feel like an ass pull. Maki's transformation belongs
What? He doesn't like the Toto thing? That was so great. Oh my god.
Maki's transformation belongs in the first category. Despite criticism that JJK leans on hype and aura, her rise is anything but sudden. Sure, it feels shocking, but it's not random. All of the groundwork from heavenly restrictions to Toji's sealing and the Zenin clan's ideology are all embedded in the story from the start. So when her eventual evolution happens, it doesn't require any suspension of disbelief, it just makes sense. So let's take a deeper dive into how Gege writes a character destined to become a monster. Maki is introduced as a strong character by student standards, but is otherwise
I don't care. Okay.
Jujutsu Kaisen Season 3 Episode 5 was a cinematic spectacle in every sense of the word. Be it the direction, the animation, or everything in between, it was a tremendously impressive and stylish work of art that steamrolled past the many limitations associated with TV anime, or in other words, it was your typical Jujutsu Kaisen. This episode, much like the rest, was insanely creative. It was filled with interesting, eye-catching shots and visual ideas in
Alright, I'm bored again. Next.
Just before selling to Disney, George Lucas was developing Star Wars Underworld, a project
Sure.
said to be the most expensive.
And then he handed it over to Disney thinking it would raise the value of Lucasfilm, and I don't think they cared at all. I think that was the takeaway, but I guess we'll see. Maybe they did care.
Live-action series ever, one that aimed to redefine how movies would have been made. Set in Coruscant's Underworld between episodes 3 and 4, this would be Star Wars' first adult-toned debut, with 50 hours worth of scripts from writers of 24, the
Or so they claim. I don't know if there's any evidence of this 50 hours. I remember, I don't know, I think this was my theory based on not knowing much, is I think this was, my guess would be this is the negotiating tactic when he was trying to sell Lucasfilm, but...
Field and Lucas himself, John Williams lined up as composer, Star Wars 1313 as a tie-in game, plus a showrunner in place. All that remained was funding. Producer Rick McCallum described it as,
I think we had over 60 scripts,
So they say.
draft scripts. Again, the most wonderful writers in the world on it. And again, just phenomenal group of talent. And these were dark. These were not, they were sexy, they were violent, they were just absolutely wonderful.
with Lucas estimating the budget to be $50 million per episode. Additional funding was needed, and HBO chairman Chris Albrecht was interested. But days before their meeting, Albrecht was forced to resign after being arrested for assaulting his partner. After months
Oh my
of
God.
waiting, new HBO executives passed on the offer.
He had a conference or something in Vegas, and he was coming to see us on Monday at the ranch to discuss it. He got caught up in some bizarre scandal. It turned into a kind of major scandal, and HBO let him go. The night before he was coming to see us.
American screenwriter Ron Moore detailed Lucas's next steps with the project, revealing test footage was filmed and prototypes of ILM's The Volume were created.
That's where we left it with him.
I was gonna say this feels like revisionism or something, or they're trying to like, because the volume succeeded, they're like talking about it now, but like it might be a thing. I mean, ILM is like a pretty crazy company. Also, I have seen test footage of this before. It looks kind of cool.
Revealing test footage was filmed and prototypes of ILM's The Volume were created.
That's where we left it with him. And he went off, and I think he did they shot some test footage because he was, George loves technology, and he was exploring different things of CGI and what became the volume, and all that stuff was percolating at ILM. Shot some test stuff for some scenes, but not too long after that, like another year maybe goes by, and he sold the whole thing kit and caboodle to Disney, all Lucasfilm. So the project never happened, but that's what happened. I wrote, I think, 2 of those scripts.
Star Wars Underworld was to
Oh, true. Maybe there were some scripts. Oh my god.
get the Clone Wars treatment. Whereas that show had $1 million per episode, this project needed 50 times more. But somewhere down the line, Lucas realized it was just too big of a task to fund alone.
It's just that we can't figure out a way of doing it for less than $50 million an episode, and obviously we can't afford to do that. I'm not going to compromise on the quality of it.
One of the few who got to read the scripts were none other than Cory Barlog, who described it as, it was the most mind-blowing thing I'd ever experienced. I cared about the Emperor. They made the Emperor a sympathetic figure. I almost cried.
Now that is a story I can get behind. That's an interesting premise. That's the genius of George Lucas, okay? The next saga is always something real different, and that'd be super cool. Oh my god.
Whilst reading this, in fact, the cancelled scripts did indeed influence Barlog's God of War 2018 reboot. When asked about the goal of Underworld, Lucas stated, "We are looking for a different technology that we can use, that will make it economically feasible to shoot the show. We have to figure out how to make it about 1/10 of the cost." And it seems Lucas's dream is now partially true. The Volume is now a feasible piece of technology, and I believe Andor Season 2 has demonstrated...
Oh, I don't want spoilers right now, but okay, true. Lovely. Okay. One of them is a Naruto thing, okay. I always forget Miller is blocked on Top Chat. Yeah, well, by no choice of my own, okay? It just happens. Not as impressive as my production, true. This is a pay does anime. Absolutely not. So when are we watching all the great videos me and Heath sent? We'll do it now, okay? Corey Balog. I don't know who that is. The God of War guy. Yeah, they just said it. That Neil Druckmann wannabe. Well, that's what Kyle says. Okay. Oh, this reminds me.
To some critics, A Song of Ice and Fire...
Wait, didn't we watch this last time? I know this guy. But also, apparently the Night of... Wait, as an abbreviation. The Night of the Seven Kingdoms. Is it going to work? Why did I think that would work? Wait. Night of the Seven Kingdoms. Okay, I don't know. Apparently the most recent episode, people like that one a lot. It's a 9.1. A big step up. How exciting. I already watched that light novel video. There's no spoilers in it. Oh, okay, I see. Okay. We watched this, right?
It's just a deconstruction of Tolkien's
Yeah, no, I don't think I cared about this. Okay. An incorrect history of light novels. Lovely. Oh, it's a small channel. Okay, this could be good.
You know, you ever consider how new light novels really are? I mean, really, if we think about it...
That's an interesting question. I don't know. All I know is that for some reason, all the big popular light novels, all the web novels, all came out at the same time. Like ReZero, Mushoku Tensei, I believe Slime. They're all in like 2013, 2015, something like that, right? Wait, let's see. ReZero. I'm sure this video will probably tell us, but where's the web novel? I don't care about the light novel. Web. So 2012 for ReZero. And then web. 2012 for Mushoku Tensei. I spelled that wrong. Not IKEA. Isekai. $2013. So they all come out at the same time. It's kind of crazy, guys. My God. It wasn't good. Well, we'll see.
We are basically at the starting point of what could potentially be a very long history for these mediums. Light novels right now are the equivalent of a poopy baby. Why is the baby poopy? I don't know. It doesn't really matter, right? But hear me out. Let's be lazy with our facts and say Osamu Tezuka created the first real modern manga, Astro Boy, 1952. There's other stuff before it, sure, but the post-World War II stuff is what matters. So, first manga, 1952. First anime, Astro Boy, again, 1963. I'm really dumbing this stuff down, but basically just think of these two.
Why on earth would wouldn't the first manga be like shortly after the printing press was made or something? Wait. When was the printing press? Yeah, well, in Japan. 1600s? So you're telling me for like... like 400 years, they were like, no, we cannot invent the concept of a comic book yet. But I guess you're saying it's when it became popular, but still, there's no way. I don't believe this, but okay.
As the first time these mediums got streamlined, the first time it became a consistent form of entertainment. So
I don't believe it. I definitely do not believe this. There is no way the books existed, but someone didn't think of, like, having books with, like, images, too. There's not a chance that this exists, but okay.
1952 for manga, 1963 for anime, and then for light novels, we run into a bit of an issue. You see, anime-influenced novelized works is not anything new. In 1982, we had Legend of the Galactic Heroes. 1988, we had Record of Lodoss War. In 1992, we had The 12 Kingdoms. All three balance this weird middle ground of having one foot in the regular literature world and one foot in the anime world. All three are considerably influential. All three could be considered the first light novel. So, we're not gonna. Instead, we're gonna skip on over to Boogie Pop in 1998. So yeah, light novels are...
I'm already lost. What is the definition of a light novel? Wait.
I'm really dumbing this stuff down, but basically just think of these two as the first time these mediums got streamlined, the first time they became a consistent form of entertainment. So 1952 for manga, 1963 for anime, and then for light novels, we run into a bit of an issue. You see, anime-influenced novelized works is not anything new. In 1982, we had Legend of the Galactic Heroes. 1988, we had Record of Lodoss War. In 1992, we had The 12 Kingdoms. All three balance this weird middle ground of having one foot in the regular literature world and one foot in the anime world. All three are considerably influential. All three could be considered the first light novel. So we're not gonna.
So is a light novel something anime related? What is it? What is a light novel? Oh my God. I feel like we've done this before. A light novel is a type of popular literature novel from Japan, usually classified as young adult fiction, generally targeting teens to 20s or older. The definition is very vague and wide-ranging, but is generally refers to a story accompanying manga-style illustrations, okay, often in black and white. Okay, interesting.
Instead, we're gonna skip on over to Boogie Pop in 1998. So yeah, light novels are the youngest of the three.
I feel like
mediums
I've heard
by
of
almost
this.
40 years at that. They're kind of curious. How have light novels evolved? Where are
This like feels crazy to me. I guess maybe the market just wasn't there. People weren't reading books when they were young. Like maybe what do you call it? The literacy rate was low or something. How can there not be books? I guess if it is specifically like with manga style illustrations, then I guess maybe. But I feel like books for young adults, whatever. There's no way that it started in the 1900s, right? And I don't know. It must be the very strict definition of like having like manga style stuff, I guess. Which maybe that became like an art trend like in the 1900s. I don't know. It's kind of crazy. Well, storytelling didn't have American influences like it did before the American occupation. Is light... I don't even know if that's about manga or like light novels, but either way, it doesn't have to have a American influence, right? At all. And there's stuff people use for Astro Boy, like it being used as a medium to market stuff like toys or bubblegum. Well, it is interesting because, like, obviously there's going to be the first comic book in Japan, right? And then it's not going to be, it's going to be like, I don't know, not very successful, I'm guessing. And then there's going to be like the next most successful, and it's going to like keep going, and they're going to become more and more popular until you get to like One Piece or something, right? So at some point in that trajectory from whatever the 1700s to now, you have to pick a point and be like, this is when it was like popular enough that we're going to consider it like its own like starting point. And I guess maybe they consider Astro Boy to be that because maybe it was just way more popular than anything that had come before it. I think that's reasonable. Okay. I'll accept that. Light novels are anime books, EliteAri. We all know this. That's just not true. Because originally they start as light novels, right? This is all just anime culture, Ari, not normal storytelling. Okay. Leader are defeated by the bubblegum facts. True. Like, think of all the tropes and aesthetics specifically about anime. That's all relatively new compared to traditional literature. I think that's, yeah, that's probably a good point. Like, there is, when you speak about, like, art history, there's, like, certain periods of, like, different arts or whatever. Like, I don't know what you call it, but I know there's, like, the Renaissance or, like, the expressionistic, like, phase. Like, there's, like, different periods, right? Or, like, postmodern and modern and, like, all that. There's probably a similar thing for comic books and novels, right? But it feels weird to like define a concept like manga or comic books or something like light novels, to define it in terms of artistic phases or whatever, because it feels more like a medium than it does a like, I guess maybe the word manga has two meanings. It has one meaning in terms of medium, like it is the format or whatever, like a comic book. But in another sense, maybe in a more like Western sense, like in English or something, it could have a different meaning, which is like the stuff that is typically associated with the medium of manga in the 20th century or whatever, I guess, possibly. Wait till you hear about web novels. That is true. Glad we agree it's an anime book. That's just not true. It's impossible.
Are the youngest of the three mediums by almost 40 years at that. They're kind of curious. How have light novels evolved? Where are they heading? Is it even possible to examine a wildly understudied, under-researched, under-archived medium? The answer is no to all of those, but we're going to try. And I'll be real with you guys, having to bob and weave dates out of order is going to be an ordeal. So even though it's a little more boring, I'm just going to go down the list of dates in order, okay? Okay, so Boogie Pop 1998, the first light...
Oh my god, I did this in that video about movies that no one watched.
Opinion. Reason being because a lot of stuff coming after it seems to take a certain degree of influence from Boogie Pop. You know, just a little bit. Boogie Pop is about a bunch of troubled teens fighting against supernatural forces that hide hide in the shadows and seem to be attached to their own psychological, familial, and societal troubles. Sound familiar? Sound like, say, Nisio Izin, creator of Monogatari, or Ryuki Shio7, creator of When They Cry, or
Not at
Nasu,
all.
creator of Fate
Nope.
and Tsukihime? All authors who, by the way, in 2003, would publish short stories alongside the author of Boogie Pop, Kohei Kadono, in a literary magazine called Faust. Now, aside from Nisio Izin, there's no way to prove they were all influenced by Kohei Kadono, but at the very least, we can assume they were in the same orb, in the same stratosphere, kind of bouncing off of each other's works, right? We can assume Boogie Pop was the one work big enough and different enough to make some ripples through the literary and anime space. The one work different enough to combine them instead of simply having one foot on each side of the door. Alright. Boogie Pop starts the dark, urban, supernatural trend. In the year 2000, Kino's Journey releases a light novel.
Kino's Journey. Why have I heard of this? I thought this was a game or something.
About a young girl and a talking motorcycle traveling through the world. Kino was different, but similar to Boogie Pop, insofar as they were both episodic, both kinda dark, and both had stoic, androgynous leads. But Kino's influence was a little more subdued. It's more widely known in the anime world, sure, but stuff like Mushishi was already floating around on the manga side. The importance Kino has is in its sales. It was a bigger hit than Boogie Pop. Its anime was also a bigger success. In 2001, there's Hyoka. It's not really
I don't remember if this is what he complained about initially, but it would be good to have like a date here. It'd be very helpful. Maybe that's what he said that he didn't want to do. I don't know.
considered a light novel. It wasn't really advertised as that at the start, but it is one of the first times we see the whole group of friends hang out in a club while romance and drama simmers in the background street. That became more prominent with stuff like Oregairu later on. 2002, Nisio Izin comes in guns blazing with Sadagoto. In my opinion, a direct line can be drawn from Boogie Pop to this. A troubled, undecipherable teenager goes around solving problems in unconventional ways. Sadagoto is obviously way different. It is literally a different genre, that being mystery, but it's not hard to see where the aesthetic came from. On the other side,
oh my god, the translator's on the actual cover. That's kind of crazy.
Of the coin, we have Shaka.
Or maybe it's
Shana,
always like
the
that.
tsundere of the early 2000s. Up until Shana, the motif was special teenager deals with violent or supernatural or magical stuff. But Shana was more like normal teenager runs into special teenager that's dealing with all that stuff, and this special teenager is interested in the normal teenager for some weird reason. Don't get it twisted, one didn't replace the other, right? It's more of a split down the road. And just in case you need more proof, Haruhi, that being the melancholy of...
Oh my god. That's Haruhi Suzumiya, which ChatGPT told me not to watch the movie of.
Haruhi Suzumiya debuts in 2003. The premise being, normal teenager runs into a gauntlet of special teenagers, one of which is literally God. We also get Bakano, which continues the dark, urban, supernatural
Literally God? What does that mean? Wow.
fiction trend
Bakano.
Boogie Pop and Sadagoto were carrying at the time. Come to think of it, this is when the aforementioned...
Isn't this an anime? This is crazy. I had no idea it was a light novel. Alright, what else is on here? Is that Madoka Magica? What is this? This looks like Madoka Magica. And Licorice Recoil.
and Sadagoto. 2006, though, goes beast mode with Bakemonogatari, which is the final form
Oh.
of the special...
Oh. Doesn't Heath always say it looks like Madoka or something? I don't know. Okay. Give me the ones I want. The only ones I know about. Where are they? Where's the Attack on Titan light novels? Oh, that's the modern stuff, right? Who is this?
with a bunch of different genres, all which have a linear...
I watched EliteAri. EliteAri probably never heard of Boogie Pop. I feel like I've heard of it. Bakuno, I have heard of that. We're gonna maybe watch that one day. That's a great anime book. I'm sure it is.
Each we can trace back. Basically, it's going to be impossible to summarize each year effectively from here on out. 2013, we get Konosuba, Tanya Shield Hero, Grimguard, Tsukimichi, and...
Konosuba is a light novel? How on earth is it a light novel? That has no, like, narrative substance to it whatsoever. Maybe it's, like, really different? That's really interesting. Are they, like, comedy books? I guess they probably are comedy books, right? Interesting.
The new gate, the isekai radioactive fallout has started to soak itself into the earth. However, it's important to note that these are all what would be considered Nato light novels. That is, light novels that came from the website Shosetsuka ni Nato, or Let's Become a Novel.
Oh my god, we love that website. Even though I've never gone to it except for just translating stuff. Is that the Mushoku Tensei site, right? Where I had to go back and translate some chapters for my video from the web novel.
Up until 2010, the way to get a light novel published was simply to send it into a publisher, but Nato changed this. Think AO3 or a YouTube for books, basically, right? Like, basically, writers could now grow audiences and leverage publishing deals solely on the strength of a well-executed premise. That's why we start to see light novels with super long names, like That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime. Essentially, this website incentivizes you to do YouTube clickbait for books. Anyway,
oh my god, Mushoku Tensei!
Mushoku Tensei, ReZero, Slime, Death March to the Parallel...
Oh, isn't that crazy? They're the three I named, and they all came out in the same year or two.
How not to summon a demon lord. I don't need to spell it out, right? Like, by now, we're seeing two different types of Nato isekai works. We got the stuff that comments on the desire to be reincarnated, that being Mushoku Tensei and ReZero, and we got stuff that is all about the escapism of being reincarnated, that being Slime and Death March.
I have never, ever considered this in my life. Let me think. I have to deeply reflect. What did he say?
I need to spell it out, right? Like, by now, we're seeing two different types of Nato isekai works. We got the stuff that comments on the desire to be reincarnated, that...
The stuff that comments on the desire to be reincarnated. Right, ReZero, obviously. I mean, not ReZero. Mushoku Tensei, obviously. ReZero. Comments on the desire to be reincarnated. I guess a little bit. Slime. Desire to be reincarnated. Okay, definitely not, which makes sense.
being Mushoku Tensei and ReZero, and we got stuff that is all about the escapism of being reincarnated.
Escapism. I guess it is. Slime's like escapism a little bit, I guess. Interesting. We need to get EliteAri a jerk book. Every isekai is a light novel. That's definitely not true. But have I read a jerk book before? I feel like I've read a few books in the past 2 years, or the past year, I guess. Were there any that were comedy books that I didn't like? I don't think so.
That being Slime and Death March. Apothecary Diaries debuts starting the
Okay, I knew this was a light novel.
the Weird Girl Goes Beast Mode trend we would later see in Otome Game and stuff like Silent Witch. Oh, and Bunny Girl Senpai also starts, which effectively streamlines the
This is a light novel too? This is crazy. But I feel like I remember this when I was like doing my research for picking a light novel to read.
special teenager trope, which Monogatari pioneered. 2015, just a whole more isekai. Way more isekai. We do, however, start to see the female side of things a bit more. We get Bookworm, Young Lady Albert, Duke's Daughter, and Bacarina. On the romance side, we're getting stuff commenting on the
Is Bookworm a female thing?
teenager trope, which Monogatari pioneered. 2015, just a whole more isekai. Way more isekai. We do, however, start to see the female side of things a bit more. We get
Or is like the main character's female? Okay, I get it.
Young Lady Albert, Duke's Daughter, and Bacarina. On the romance side, we're getting stuff commenting on the taboo romance and light novels, with stuff like A Sister's All You Need, which is literally about a light novel author that writes about little sisters. 2016, the romance light novel introspection continues with bottom tier character Tomosaki, a light novel that isn't the loner is actually cooler than the cool kids, it's more the loner is alone because he thinks he's cooler than the cool kids. This in turn will shift the romance light novel landscape into the loner has it easy, the cool kids have it hard, but they're both nice. In 2017, we get 86, a military drama. Naruto stuff continues, romance
Oh my
stuff
god,
continues.
that's in light novel too? This is crazy. Everything's a light
Dark,
novel.
urban supernatural stuff like Boogie.
Wow. Spy Cluster? I don't know any of these. This font looks familiar, but this character doesn't. Is this the ice skating one? No, I don't know. I don't know any of these. Do I know I don't... Oh wait, no, I've seen this one. I haven't seen it, but I've heard of this. Too many losing heroines. I don't think I know any of the others. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Okay. That was interesting. You know, if I had the patience, I'd probably watch the whole thing, but I'm not going to. Dunkin' Egg is not a comedy book. No, that's a comedy series. Oh, yeah. So what happened to Chainsaw Man? Sure, he got bad, right?
So I recently watched the Chainsaw Man movie. Now,
Oh my god, they're dressed up as Denji. This is awesome.
movie was adapting what might honestly be my favorite arc of Chainsaw Man, the Bomb Devil arc. So you can imagine.
Oh. The Bomb Devil arc. Oh my god. We don't need more Reese discourse, okay? Holy. I think we've had enough Reese in the past few weeks. You know what I want? I want a Tywin Lannister video essay, okay? I wanted to analyze his character. Such an incurious fellow, that is true. Where did that start from? EliteAri doesn't know any of the ones that haven't been made into shitty motion cartoons. Well, yeah, I'm a fan of anime, believe it or not. I've been saying he watched 3 seconds, true. Alright. Let me think, guys. What do I actually want to do today? What's an actual series that I'm interested in watching videos for? Evangelion could be interesting. I made an Evangelion video. I didn't even talk about the videos I made. 27 views. Oh my god, we're booming. Have we got any comments out? After season... Oh my god, we have the comment from Heath. Wow, Ordinary Ari says trans rights. EliteAri could never true. Okay. What have I made this past week? One Piece? No. One Piece. Monthly channel updates. Edgerunners. Oh, I finished Cyberpunk Edgerunners. I'm going to do a discussion with Kyle whenever he finishes, which I don't know when that will be. I made a video about Shinji, and it had 2 big spurts in viewership, so maybe it'll get another one. I don't know. Or maybe it's still going. 500 views. The idea was that hopefully by... Basically, this was something I said in the discussion, like unscripted. And then I thought, oh, what if I like re-record it and like edit it and make it nice? And maybe it'll get views and I can link like the actual discussion here and like at the end of the video and maybe people will go watch it. I doubt it had any effect, but Maybe one day. 110? Was it at 110 before, or did I boost it up? You're welcome. Now this is a good idea. Kyle's a genius. Then type in Tywin Lannister video essay, little bro. Type in Evangelion video essay. No, I have a better idea. Let's watch this. I bet you forgot Ava did this scene twice. True. No, I have a better one. Where is it? We want that thing killed Judo. That thing kills or killed. I don't even know how to spell Judo. Judo. Here we go.
Remember when I said the conceit of this video series was that I'd write something about each episode of Neon Genesis Evangelion? Well, this video sure is something. Episode 3 isn't exactly my favorite episode of Ava, it's probably my least favorite episode of all of Evangelion.
Really?
I don't have anything all too cutting or insightful to share about this episode, but I promised something.
You know, this is the inspiration for my... I'm going to make a video about every JJK episode this season, so this is where it comes from, guys.
So I'll deliver something. That thing killed Judo. This video will be shorter than usual. Judo, if you're unaware, is the most overrated character in the everlasting all-time great manga Berserk, written by our god and yours, Kentaro Miura. And in the climax of the Golden Age arc, also known as not the best arc in Berserk, this little event called the Eclipse happens that you've likely heard some rumors about. Basically, everybody dies and the main character is forced to watch as his girlfriend is sexually assaulted by his former best friend turned demon prince. And
That's
it's a
crazy.
whole thing. But one of the characters that dies in this event is our titular featured star, Judo, when he tries to scurry Casca, the girlfriend we were just talking about, out of this demon-infested situation. The demons, more correctly the apostles, chase after them, including this chicken fella, and eventually they are stopped and forced to confront this bloke, who looks like this. Very similar to the angel in this episode. See, we were always going somewhere with this. Eventually, the two of them take it down. Surprisingly, Casca does have an official registered apostle kill to her name, Slay Queen, but in the process, Judo is skewered through the chest by this apostle's tentacle limbs, and he eventually bleeds to death. Therefore, that thing killed Judo, and the title for today's video. Evangelion did it first, if you were wondering. Evangelion first.
I was wondering. See how as soon as you think of something that you're wondering, he answers it for you. This is a great video.
Airing in 1995, and Storm of Death 2, the chapter in which Judo dies, coming out only the following year in June of 1996, according to the Berserk wiki. I don't know, I wasn't there. This video isn't about Berserk stealing this design or this idea from Ava, of course. If the link was proven, it's probably just a gentle homage, but it does bring up an interesting question. Where did this monster design come from, and how would I even go about researching it?
That's a good question.
These two designs are similar, but it's probably more likely that both Berserk and Evangelion are referencing something previous that I just don't have the cultural context to be aware of, rather than each other. But
you know what we got to do? We got to paste it into ChatGPT and see what it says, or I'll try it out. All right. Look at this attached image and tell me what Japanese media, history, culture, etc. thing it is likely inspired by. Let's see if it has any idea. All right. No, the Judo video is too old. How old is it? 5 years. The microphone sounds fine. Turn this off. Turn it off. I'm going to do CX EliteAri. Stop. This is raper. What's? It's not that bad. I think it's just fine. He'd tell him that this isn't on. Okay, we didn't have ChatGPT. It's probably from Kamen Rider, but the Ava one does look like the underside of a penis, I suppose. Holy. Okay, we got like an answer. Okay, wait a minute. Let's paste it into a notepad here. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Wait a second. Ooh, creepy in a very Japanese manga horror way. A few strong influences jump out. Junji Ito style cosmic body horror, especially Uzumaki. I don't know anything about this, so I'm not going to read it. Yokai, we should get rid of it so I don't see it. Yokai, Japanese folklore filtered through modern horror. The elongated, inhuman proportions and tentacle ribbon-like appendages echo classic yokai concepts. Creatures with warped bodies, exaggerated features. Okay. Oh wait, there's like way more. Okay, wait a minute. Tokusatsu anime, otherworldly being aesthetic, Evangelion and Gantz energy. The tall, abstract, almost symbolic body shape reads a bit like Evangelion's angels. Isn't that crazy? Oh my god. Some of Gantz's alien designs. Manga visual language. Okay, I want specific influences and examples for each of the things you listed, so I can look them up and see if they look similar. All right. Show the answer. I have. It's here. Okay. Oh no, EliteAri accidentally flashed his notepad. Well, it's not accidental. I brought it up, you know. It was nice knowing you. ChatGPT doesn't know Berserk. You know, ChatGPT knows too much these days. All right, here we go. We got the actual... I don't want the Junji Ito one because it'll spoil me. All right, here's one of them. I'm a bit scared, actually. What if this brings up something crazy? Okay, I don't think it's this. But this is kind of crazy. Okay. I don't think it's this either, but this is also going to be crazy. Okay. Now, is it this? No, definitely not. Shigeru Mizuki. Okay. These are the angels from Ava that it thinks it might look like or be inspired by. Ramiel. I don't think it is. Okay. Liliel. Liliel. This one. Okay. Thank you. Lovely. And Ariel. Lovely. Good job, ChatGPT. You really know your stuff. Kamen Rider. Isn't that what you said? Kamen Rider? Or something? Did I just read that? Oh, wait. Kamen Rider. Apparently it looks like this. I don't know. ChatGPT has failed us today.
Still, it's a fun little connection.
Isn't Ava just an Ultraman ripoff? Who knows? Does that show have monsters? I don't know. Ultraman. Alien Boltan is what it tells me the Ultraman one is. I mean, this is a bit closer at least, a little bit.
Right? Everything is Devilman after all, especially Berserk and Evangelion. So
True.
perhaps there's some Devilman demon I'm forgetting that looked exactly like this. Maybe it's a reference to a monster or demon synonymous with Japanese culture that I'm just unfamiliar with. But rather than researching it for myself, I thought I'd talk about this very basic connection in my episode 3 video because I've got nothing else interesting to talk about, and somebody out there will point out what's going on here. Sometimes
Do you think someone did? 27 comments is kind of crazy. I doubt anyone did though.
Impress myself with my own intelligence. That thing did kill Judo, and Shinji sure did get that thing in this episode. But what else is there to talk about regarding this episode?
Was it Black
It happened
Lagoon?
before episode 8, so I don't have an excuse to talk
No,
about
wait. It's not Black Lagoon. It's Cowboy Bebop, right?
her yet, and also because she's not around yet, this episode isn't.
What did that say? There's like hidden Easter eggs in this. Yes, this is footage from a digi video I had on my computer. I got lazy with this video if you hadn't noticed. Wow.
Episode 8, so I don't have an excuse to talk about her yet, and also because she's not around yet, this episode isn't as good. Plus, there's very little Rei. This episode is the introduction of most of our school characters, including a character I used to hate in Toji, as well as Kensuke, someone I've always been mostly neutral on. I do like Toji now, though. There's a kind of interesting scene at the end of the episode where after Toji was a dick to Shinji all episode, blaming him for putting his sister in harm's way, he realizes how stressful and dangerous being a pilot of the Ava must be, and sympathizes with him and goes to call Shinji, and it's kind of left ambiguous whether or not Toji dialed the number.
You know, I don't even remember this, but
And then couldn't go through with his apology, his masculinity and pride getting in his way, or if he did call with his hand in his heart for Shinji just not to pick up. That's kind of an interesting conversation we could have, but whatever happened doesn't really say much about either character or their relationship overall. Moving forward anyway. They eventually become good friends and are for the rest of the series until... well, we aren't up to that episode yet. What else is there to say about this episode? I like how the urinals are drawn, that was nice. The continued characterization of Misato, as limited as it is in this episode, is also great. She's a queen. They introduced the Hedgehog's dilemma through Ritsuko this episode, but you don't need another video explaining that to you, so I didn't talk about that. The class's reaction to Shinji being the pilot is cute and fun, but that can't really carry a whole video. Honestly, there's lots of little things in this episode that are interesting, but I couldn't find a way to make a cohesive video connecting them all while also making a new point. So this is what you got. A joke video kind of about Berserk. Hopefully episode 4 will lead to a more interesting video. Support links in the description below. Thanks.
Wow. Now that was a video. My god. What is Psycho Jenny? Oh, okay. It's just giving me a bunch of horror things now. Wait. Jin Men. Oh, this thing, the turtle thing. Interesting. Okay. All right. ChatGPT has a bias for Ramiel too. Yeah, it's the coolest one. Stop watching the Stop We Did. In episode 4 never led to a video. That is true. That is the great lore about this. I think the series just ended here, right? Amazing. Do you think that... oh, it's me. Good video. It is a good video. Do you think there's someone who's like, I'm waiting for part 2? Bacon 5 years ago. Hey, Ava narration was good. I liked it a lot. SAS was strong. Okay. Fun fact, Aaron's declaration in 123 in AOT is a homage to similar announcement of the Demon King from Devilman. True. Oh my god, was this... No, this wasn't before you've read Devilman. This would be after, right? Wow. What is this going to be? I'm a bit scared to read this. Hi, Kyle. I have a question for you. Question, not about your video, but about you. Here's the question. Between these three men, which would you... Oh, it's like a question. Okay, whatever. True. Alright, now this could be an interesting video, but I don't know how much of this I'll watch. EliteAri didn't remember Psycho Jenny? It sounds familiar, but I guess it is the character we just saw. She brainwashed Rio into realizing he's Satan. I'm sure he did. Nate Rose is here. Wow, I'm impressed you found this channel, Nate Rose. For context, this is one of the great commenters who leaves a bunch of comments on my Edgerunners reactions and gives me a bunch of useful information, so nice to see you here. I read Devilman before I started my channel. True, that makes sense. This is the first channel or the second channel? Thank you to Jockey Bacon. I know him. Riker7, I know him. Iron Aggro, don't know them. Cruel Beauty is the name I've heard. Chad, I have no idea, but cool. That's like $20 right there.
Neon Genesis Evangelion episodes 9 through 17 are an interesting affair. They are perhaps the least talked about and remembered episodes of the series. The overall plot progresses only incrementally in these episodes. They are more character-centered, focusing on the characters in their everyday Evangelion environments. There's a lot of build-up and developing mystery afoot here. There are Evangelion comfort food, stuck between the first 8 episodes of introduction delivering you to the Evangelion world and characters, and the mania and madness to come with the last stretch of episodes. But I think we should talk about these episodes more, so let's do that.
True.
There are tons of cute character moments.
Oh my god. I remember this because I had to use AI to like extend this or something for one of our like video discussion backgrounds
that go overlooked in this middle section of the series. And after my about 17 times through the series, some of these moments now stand out to me as key pieces of characterization for these densely written characters. Shinji watching Rei wring out a wet cloth in the back of the classroom, and then later telling her in the elevator that she looked like a mother while doing it, and then jesting that perhaps she'd make a good housewife, and Rei blushing, is key Rei characterization to me. Of course she's motherly, it's so obvious, I exclaim. Though perhaps I never would have realized that she is without this scene. It's such a cool, small little piece of characterization that goes a long way, I think, and is one of the littler nuances that I think make Evangelion's character writing and characterization so full. It's like her telling everybody that she's a vegetarian at dinner. Of course she is. That's such a Rei thing to be. Oh, also, did I fail to mention...
No, but it's a clone thing to be, is what we found out in our discussion, right? Alright. Can I recommend a video to react here? You can try. I don't think it'll let you put it in the chat, though. Or you can type the name of it or whatever. Yeah. We should watch the Scramboli reviews video I sent instead. True. If you wanna, if anyone wants to send videos, by the way, if you're first time chatter here, like the great Neros, then there is a link to join the Discord where you can send links. But that is the only purpose of the Discord. There is
After seeing Evangelion on
you can't actually type in it or anything. All right. Oh my god, I'm not going to be streaming that much longer. I kind of want to watch this, but also like, it's probably not a good thing to do on stream. I should probably just watch it off stream. You just don't understand Ava. I think this is a channel that has only ever annoyed me, right? Every time I watch it. They made the Madoka video. Madoka was bad for some dumb reason. But I'm sure if they agreed with me, I would love them because they'd be very funny, right? The anime only smart people can understand. True. Like me. I'm so smart, guys. Ilya's narration isn't good either. I think it was fine. What's wrong with this? Bro's had the same talking points for 5 years. That's how it goes, you know? You're growing up, you know? You're an adult. You're 25. I don't know if you're 25. I don't know how old you are, but your brain stops growing. Wait, rebuild spoilers. Don't watch the Scrambolion. Alright, alright. I kind of want to recommend a short video to react, but it is very, very good. Well, for one thing, it cannot be an Edgerunners video because I am going to watch... I mean, I'm doing a discussion with Kyle, and he's going to get spoiled on it. But if it's not an Edgerunners one, I am open to it. Oh, why did I close this? I wanted to watch the rest of it.
Cool, Asuka. Very cold. That moment itself from Rei was very cute, and her waiting by his hospital bed is a...
Oh, I don't know what I was up to. I don't remember if I saw this. The towel.
About this scene. It's everybody that she's a vegetarian at dinner. Of course she is. That's such a Rei thing to be. Oh, also, did I fail to mention that her reaction here is about the cutest fucking thing I've ever seen? Her trying to deflect before this...
It's a Cyberpunk 2021. You know what? Save it for when I actually have done my discussion, and we can probably do an actual stream about, what did I just do? About Edgerunners. Did that open my account? What was this? Yeah, you can send it now, and then maybe I'll remember to do it, or I'll put it in a list or something. So we can have an actual stream about Edgerunners. That'd be cool. But...
Scene ends is
all right. Oh, I'm probably not gonna watch this video. Lamout, EliteAri didn't even notice the massive spoiler he had on the screen, so that's good. Absolutely not. You know, I'm hardly paying attention to these things. EliteAri's channel isn't based like Kyle's and blocks links. You know what I learned though, Heath? Only you were allowed to send links, because I tried to send a link, which was that website for ranking stuff. And he kept censoring me, and he wouldn't let me send it. So I think maybe for a moderator you can send links, and that's it. But I have no idea. But true. This great website. All right. Now, what's a video we should actually watch? We'll watch, all right, one more video, okay? That's it. And then I should go. I wanted to keep this stream short. With that great Devilman video there too, true. The history of the universe in Cyberpunk. How is this not showing up? Wait. By Wise Fish. I'm assuming it's this one? But maybe not. I don't know. Let me know if it's this one. Wait, you said it was like short. This is 2 hours, right? Holy. It can't be this one. Oh. Wait, no? Did I type it wrong? The history of the universe. I don't know. Maybe it's this one. I don't know. No? All right. Try again. At least it's not showing up. Must have typed something wrong. I don't know. It's a 30-minute one. This? No, wait. That's the USA. The history of cyberware and cyberpunk. Full cyberpunk lore. Is it this one? We'll see. We'll put this on the list. All right, perfect. How is my list doing? All right, we got all the old ones. What's the most recent stuff? I think I've seen all of these, and now we have this one, which I haven't seen. Okay. Why I hate Neon Genesis Evangelion. Oh my god, they're just like me. Yes, it's the first one. It covered the retro futuristic nature of the universe. Excellent. Okay.
Okay, so before you just hit the dislike button and leave, I implore you that you hear me out for like a minute and 30 seconds. So let me start off by saying me hating a series is not the same as me thinking that series is bad. Just like me loving a series isn't always equating to me thinking the series is a masterpiece. So
Sorry to cut this video off, but this also reminded me. So I just watched the final two. You know, this has, I wonder what it's at now, but this is like a little bit of a controversial video. Can you believe it? Publishing so many videos this year has pushed my channel average like ratio up to like 92%. Because this channel used to be way more controversial. Where a lot of people were, you know, like disliking my videos. Let's see what the Shinji one is at now. So I just... True. All right, not bad. 85%. It could be worse. You deserve to hate and I don't? That's not true. No one deserves hate in this world. Basically, as a fun fact, while Adam Smasher was hanging out in the year 2014 as a full Borg, brick phones and homeline phones were just common. Smartphones were created in 2040. That's very funny. We love that. So they better leave me alone. True. Even in 2077, they are worse and more archaic than ours, lol. What a strange, interesting world. My goodness. But we love it. How anime made superheroes irrelevant. This caught my attention.
Watched like everything but the final episode of Ava. Then I went and watched the movie The End of Evangelion. Then I had to go back apparently and then watch the final episode of the series once again. And apparently both endings are canon. Whatever, it is what it is. I had to go and watch a few videos on Ava. Just kind of like there was a video done explaining the ending of Monster. That definitely helped me appreciate the series more. I wanted to watch this video on Ava, the curse of
that video, Kyle Entertainment's I Think I Killed Judah or whatever. That thing.
Evangelion. But the thing
Oh,
is,
the
the
girls
majority of the
baby
stuff
Lily,
stated in that video, I pretty much already understood. Ava as a series uses a lot of religious imagery. It's one with a good amount of mystery within its narrative, which is honestly what kept me on my toes. But yet the grand majority of Ava, what makes it unique and its selling point, would have to be the themes within the series. And the very...
Who is this?
I don't know
Some
if
manga character?
the proper term would be basically drug-like manner in which it introduces or kind of shows those themes. Many times those scenes result in me basically nearly having seizures as they just flash a ton of different images at times. But yet somehow the message does come through. It's one that tackles trauma, the need for love, humanity, hope, self-acceptance, and essentially you can't expect other people to love you if you cannot love yourself.
Bro, this guy loves the manga, my god. I had no idea that Ava even had a manga until I think Kyle said he read it or something, right? What? Fur GK. What does that mean? I don't know what that means. Oh, what do you think of the massive Marvel Rivals drama happened like a month ago? You know what? I didn't follow it, believe it or not. I vaguely heard about it, whether it was like, there was a team and then they kicked off someone and then I think the internet sided with the guy who got kicked off or something, but I didn't really follow it. I don't know. I have no idea. But it was drama. We love drama, don't we? Who is that? I don't know, some manga character, I'm sure. Or maybe there's a rebuild character in like a manga art style for some reason.
This in this anti-escapist manner, which is unique, and I'll give it props for that. The overall plot of the story is serviceable, one that at times can be a little bit confusing and honestly just loses you as it does take long breaks in between to kind of explore these psychological themes. It can also waste time and slow things down by
I like this captain guy, he was funny.
Trying to counteract the budget by having either one singular image.
Oh, we never did a tier list for End of Ava.
Or some scenery, or just someone in an elevator for about an entire minute. I understand sometimes that can be used to build up the moment, but you have got to be fair as an Ava fan and understand that painful amount of times that it slows things down can turn some people off and might lead them to think the series is boring. I personally didn't think Ava was boring per se. However, to deny that it many times can go through this slow pace feel would just be wrong. That's not a criticism as to why I dislike it. That's just an aspect of the series I can see turning some people off. I also do want to say that the characters are well done. Rey is one that I personally don't care for much individually. However, her role in the grand scheme of things is massive. Asuka, even though I personally don't like her or at all see her as waifu material, her entire growing up quickly as a child and her own traumas that she goes through, geez, that final moment of hers was, I'm not gonna lie, that's brutal. And if there's one scene from Ava that will probably stick with anyone, it would be that scene. Then you have some of the other characters who,
unironically, that is the scene that stuck with me.
Have a bit of their own.
Oh wait, unless it's talking about the final scene in the movie, yeah, but okay, whatever. I just right-clicked by accident. Ava had a manga released after the anime, and it's like an alternative timeline. A fucking course and a canon fuckery. True. Fuck tier list. No, we love tier list. What's wrong with tier list? Have you seen the trailer for Edgerunners 2, by the way? It's less than a minute long. Absolutely not. Okay. Oh my god. Kyle, you need to watch this. Hurry up and watch this so that we can, like, do Edgerunner stuff, okay? My god. How many episodes have you seen, Kyle? Is still 2 episodes, or have you seen more now? I didn't even know there was a trailer. Oh, wait. Oh, you mean like is it a video game? It's not the show? I don't know. I don't want to Google it because I'll get spoilers right now. But true. What are the normies doing? They're reacting to the Flash. Pluribus. Barry. What a blind wave doing? Oh yeah, we just saw this Real Steel that I've never heard of. The Sopranos. Is that Midnight? Is she in Vigilantes? Got Naruto. The Pit. Alright, interesting. Kyle says he's only seen 2 episodes, my god. If only it was the Code Geass manga and replaced the mechs with horses. Man, the Code Geass universe. What a strange universe that is. Succession is just too good, EliteAri. Well, good for you. There was a 2nd season and only shows the potential cast. That's exciting. No, I'm going to save this. It'll either be one stream where Kyle's not in the chat, or it'll be a stream when we finally done the discussion. How can I watch anything else? I don't know, but you need, for a fact, you need to watch Pluribus before next Tuesday. Otherwise, you're fired, and I'll be doing a solo discussion series. Actually, no. I guess not technically next Tuesday, but you know what I mean. It's a full confirmed 2nd season. Kai Ikarashi directing, as I said, season 2 director, and the same writer and producer than season 1. This sounds wonderful. I am very happy. I love the great Kai Ikarashi, so I'm looking forward to a season 2. But yes. Edgerunners is kind of more Polish American than Japanese. Apart from direction, animation, everything is Western. I did definitely get that vibe. But yeah. I already fired you. Okay. That is true. I know I resigned from Night of the Seven Kingdoms, but... Okay, guys, that's it. Short stream today. I have to do so much stuff this weekend. But not that much, okay? Last week I was probably more busy, but... We got stuff. I got to record a reaction to Andor Season 2. Replacing replacing my 2 Cyberpunk Edgerunners a week, but... Yeah. Anyway. Lucky official trailer? What is Lucky? Oh, for Apple TV. We don't want trailers for Apple TV stuff, okay? Anyway, thanks for watching. I don't know, that's what I said in videos. What do I say here? I say, see you next time, guys, which will be next Friday, most likely. Unless the JJK, like, episode is just so good and I have so much to say about it. Also, in 2 weeks, there's not going to be a JJK episode. I'm looking at my calendar right now, and there's a break week, apparently, you know? Can I join the Edgerunner stream later as a lore answerer, lol? Well, when I say later, it'll be, like, in a week or 2. I have no idea, so we'll see. But, yep.